All right, so I'm almost at the end of my row. You'll see it's a nice curve, and I'm going to finish these last 2 stitches. One of them is marked to be 2 double crochets, and the last one will be 1 double crochet. So I'm going to get that done here, and then I'm going to show you how to count stitches so that we can make sure that we have the 30 that we need. So again, just doing exactly what I was doing before, nothing special here, exactly the same stitches. The only difference here is, if you remember, we are going to put 2 in this stitch and not 1. So I just pulled that out so I could get it lined up correctly. I lost my train of thought there. Here we go. One more time in this back bar stitch. And now I've got 2 in that one. I'm going to remove my stitch marker, and then I'm on my final back bar right here, which looks kind of funky, right? Because it's that very last one. This one is not marked, so it just needs to be a single double crochet there. So I'm gonna get that one done. Same stitch we've been doing this whole time. And now I'm done. I'm gonna pull this out, and I'm gonna mark it right here like this. So that way, while I'm counting and doing other things, in case it loosens up, my work doesn't unravel. And that can be really heartbreaking when you're working and all of a sudden it starts to unravel because you're manipulating it. So anyway, that's it. This is what it looks like. This should be, according to our pattern right here, for this first actual real roll that's not the chain, it should be 30 stitches. So you're probably going, well, how do I count the stitches? Well, on the interior, this is where the back bar was. That is going to be a smaller number of stitches. But remember, we added some cases 2 stitches and singles, so that's going to multiply the amount of stitches. So if you look at your work, you need to kind of pick it up and just look at it here. You'll see what looks like that braid that we first saw the very beginning, right? And it's also the side that has the big loop that we just created with our stitch marker. So pulling that side will also help you know that you're on the right one. But you'll notice that they look like almost little V's. These are stitches, and we're going to count those, and we're praying to God we've got 30 so we don't have to check our other work. So let's do that together. And this first one here counts. This big loop does not count. This is my first one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Lucky duck I am. There's number 30. I always mark the first and last stitch of any row, because when you start working on your next stitch, which is called a slip stitch, it can kind of get confusing on where you're going to stop. And so you don't have to keep counting over and over again. I like to mark that last one. And then we kind of, we marked this big loop over here a moment ago, and this is the actual first stitch there. So I'll just go ahead and mark that as well. And so now I have stitch number 1 and stitch number 30 nicely marked. So when I start my slip stitches, I know where I'm going.